Joe Christopher, Jeremy Plunk joining you for yet another edition of Night School. And on this edition, Jeremy, we're going to talk about maidens. Maidens are horses that have never won before, can represent some unique handicapping challenges.
Well, and they represent the most horses on the grounds. If you take a 1,500 stable situation at a racetrack, the largest percentage of horses will be maidens. So that's why you see often 2-3 maiden races on a card many times. Most of the horses are looking for graduation day, and you better know how to handicap them if you're going to be a horse player, because they're going to make up probably about 20% of the races.
And obviously once those maidens win, then they go to claiming races, allowance races, and potentially stakes races down the line. Let's talk about maidens earlier in the careers. They only have 1 or 2 starts, or they haven't even raced at all. How do you evaluate younger horses or horses that are more inexperienced?
Well, I think with the young maidens, you want to look at a couple things. You want to look at pedigree. Are these horses bred to be a particular kind of horse, a sprinter, a turf horse, and what situation they're placed in? And the second thing you want to do is get down where we're at right now. We're in the paddock for a reason. This is the best place to study a young horse and to get a look at their body type, their temperament, that sort of thing like that. And also you want to gauge what's going on the tote board. And you can also do that from the paddock by wheeling your neck around a little bit and checking out the odds.
We've talked about this in previous night schools with pedigrees and 2-year-olds. You want to be aware of trainer intent. Is this the day that the trainer with a talented horse thinks they can win? Is it the right distance? Is it the right surface? There are a lot of variables that go into it. Now, Jeremy, certain handicappers, when they see a horse that's 0 for 10, 0 for 12, 0 for 15, 0 for 18, they automatically avoid these kinds of maidens. Are you one of those people?
Yeah, they're called career maidens, these horses who just never seem to break out of it. I think if a horse runs 5 or 6 times in the same maiden condition, I'm done with them. You know, if they beat me, so be it. And typically, if you're going to get a horse like that, say they're 0 for 18 and they've run for the 20,000 maiden level 9 times, if they beat you, it's going to be at a price. And if it's at a short price, you didn't want them anyway. So, you know, I think 5, 6 times at the same maiden condition, that's about as much as you want to tolerate.
Sometimes horses just don't have heart, but sometimes horses are simply faster than their competition. So even if a horse is 0 for 15, if they're in a race where they're faster than the other horses, I do think they can still win, albeit most of the time at a short price. Let's talk about the difference between maiden special weight and maiden claiming. Many people think that the drop from maiden special weight to maiden claiming is the most important and maybe the biggest in racing.
And that might be the case if you're looking at the same circuit or the same racetrack. If you're at Keeneland going from maiden special weight into a maiden claiming 30, that is a big deal, and that is a big class drop. But say you're in a maiden special weight at River Downs, and now you're going to Churchill Downs. A maiden special at River Downs may equate with about a $20,000 maiden claimer at Churchill Downs. So know what circuit you're talking about, but if the horses are running on the same level in New York or in Kentucky, or even at your local track in Arizona at Turf Paradise per se, if they're going from a Turf Paradise maiden special to a Turf Paradise maiden claiming, that is a big class drop. It's very significant. The horses who are in the maiden claiming races are there for 2 reasons. 1, they're not very good. And 2, the connections don't mind if they change addresses. You know, they don't mind if they lose a young horse because they're not very talented. So when you drop from those maiden specials, those are the horses that are the aspiring good horses and future allowance horses. You get in that maiden claiming, it's the bottom rung on the class ladder.
Another angle that can be used is equipment changes, especially with maidens, maybe putting blinkers on for the first time, or maidens getting Lasix for the first time. If a trainer debuts a horse without Lasix, maybe the intention isn't there. When they come back with Lasix, maybe the 2nd or 3rd start, I think you want to be particularly aware of that.
And I think changes is a very key word that Joe just mentioned there. I've got a rule of thumb. If it's a maiden claiming route race around 2 turns, it's the bottom level of class, and it's for slow horses who aren't fast enough to sprint. Nobody wants to be there. Nobody wants to be in a maiden claiming route race. So there you're looking for changes. Change of jockey, change of distance, change of surface, change of class. If you get a maiden claiming route race, look for horses making changes. It's one of my favorite angles in all the maiden races.
Well, as far as this night school goes, it's time for us to break our maiden. Enjoy the next hour.
My name is Ron McAnally, Hall of Fame trainer. Welcome to Night School.